Welcome back to Basketball Conspiracies. I'm Mikekorzemba, and on this show we continue to dig deep into basketball's dark past. In today's episode, we are going to be looking at the 1985 NBA draft, or more specifically, the Patrick Ewing conspiracy. Now, if you didn't know, the 1985 NBA draft is famous due to the belief that David Stern rigged the draft in order to allow the New York Knicks to land Patrick Ewing. Was the draft fixed? Did David Stern tamper with one of the envelopes in order to bring Patrick Ewing to New York? Let's take a look at one of the NBA's biggest questions. In order to understand the Patrick Ewing conspiracy, we must first understand the state of the NBA in 1985. Now, it is widely known that the NBA experienced a huge growth in popularity in the 1980s.
NBA action is fantastic.
However, much of this popularity came in the late 80s, as Michael Jordan rose to fame and the NBA rose along with him. On top of this, the league was struggling with a severe cocaine problem, which had gotten so bad that the Los Angeles Times reported that 75% of players were on drugs. This problem was more serious than the league let on, and it was clear that the NBA needed to make changes in order to turn the fortunes of the league around. Leading up to the 1985 draft, the gravity of the situation was made all the more known due to the NBA's TV deal with CBS, which was set to expire after the 1986 season. If the NBA did not change things fast, the league could potentially lose one of its biggest revenue streams. Enter Patrick Ewing. In present time, Ewing is historically known as one of the NBA's best centers, a Hall of Famer but someone who was never able to win a championship and thus is not considered one of the all-time greats. In 1985, however, things were different, as Patrick Ewing was known as one of the greatest draft prospects ever. At Georgetown, Ewing dominated the game in ways that few others had done before him. A three-time All-American, Ewing led Georgetown to an NCAA championship in 1984 and was also named College Basketball's Player of the Year in 1985. With his incredible footwork around the basket and his overwhelming defensive presence, Ewing was already penciled in as the next NBA all-time great. The hype around Ewing was proven during the 1985 draft broadcast, as the graphic used to show Ewing's strengths only read, "Are you kidding?" All of this culminated into an obvious way for the NBA to increase its popularity and land a massive TV deal. Simply put, they would have the NBA's most hyped draft prospect join one of its biggest markets. So, leading into the 1985 draft, it makes perfect sense that the league would want the New York Knicks to land the first pick, which makes what happens next even more suspicious. Up until 1985, the league had a very basic system for determining who won the number one draft pick. They simply took the teams with the two worst records from each conference, brought them together, and had a coin flip. The winner got the first pick. It was that easy. With this said, team executives hated the system, as it encouraged tanking for the worst record, and the league changed the draft lottery. For the 1985 draft, the 7 teams that did not make the playoffs all received an envelope that was put into a plastic ball. The ball was then rotated to mix up the envelopes, and then they were picked one by one. The draft order of each envelope picked went in the order Stern selected them. Now let's take a look at the video of the lottery. The man putting the envelopes into the plastic ball was Jack Wagner from the accounting firm Ernst & Whitney, a seemingly neutral party, right? However, as we dig deeper, we find that Ernst & Whitney was also the auditing firm for Gulf and Western, who, unrelated I'm sure, just happened to own the New York Knicks. Nothing suspicious there. As Wagner tosses the envelopes into the plastic ball, he presents the first piece of evidence that the draft was rigged. Look closely as he bangs the fourth envelope, which contained the New York Knicks draft card, against the metal of the plastic ball. As the envelope falls into the ball, if we freeze time, we can see that the corner of the envelope is now bent, marking it as the one that contained the New York Knicks draft card. He does not come close to hitting the metal with any of the other envelopes he tosses in. Again, hardly anything suspicious about this. As the lottery continues, the ball is rotated as Stern looks intently at the envelopes that are being mixed around. He then walks up to the ball, ready to select the envelope that will give the team inside it the first pick in the draft. As he prepares himself, Stern lets out a very deep breath, obviously indicating that he is nervous. Is he nervous about being in front of a lot of people, something he's probably never faced as commissioner of the NBA? Or is he nervous about something else? The next few seconds are what cements the 1985 draft lottery as one of the NBA's biggest conspiracies. As Stern reaches into the plastic ball, we are going to freeze, as the camera clearly picks up the bent corner on the envelope that contains the Knicks pick. Surely, if we can see the bend now on a video that is from 1985, presumably Stern can see it in real life. Now, as Stern reaches into the ball, he clearly grabs multiple envelopes as another envelope has landed on top of the Knicks envelope. He then, for some reason, flips the envelope he has grabbed around before dropping all but one. The one with the bent quarter. The one that gave the Knicks the first pick in the 1985 draft. And so there you have it. The 1985 NBA draft conspiracy. As you could clearly see in the video, the envelope was definitely bent. Whether David Stern knew the envelope was bent or not is the question. Now, when I was researching this, I did see several other theories, such as the envelope was frozen, or even that David Stern was wearing special glasses that allowed him to read some sort of secret writing that was on the envelope. That seems a little more far-fetched than the simple idea that the envelope was just bent, and David Stern could clearly see it. Whatever the case, Patrick Ewing did end up in New York, so David Stern got what he wanted. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you want more videos like this, and have a great day.